Hi, DF. Thanks for the entertaining weekly podcast. I think that's quadruple exclamation point there.
Yeah.
With the upcoming release of the Lenovo Legion Go, do you have any opinions on it and the ROG Ally? I'm thinking of dipping into the handheld PC space. What's your take on the longevity of the hardware? This change is coming for me as I'm worried about ownership of games that I purchase going forward, and there doesn't seem to be a clear customer focus from Sony or Xbox. Maybe I've missed something. Thanks for all the great content. So I did actually see the Lenovo Legion Go recently. There was a press event in London. It looks like a really interesting device. It's huge. I mean, the ROG Ally it's quite svelte by comparison. This thing is proper chunky. Has detachable controllers like the Switch, but much larger. They're much chunkier. Also, one of the controllers can kind of slot into a base to turn it into like a mouse, if you can imagine that. If the Switch controller thrust into like a circular base that then acts like a kind of mouse. It's quite an interesting concept. It's going to be releasing at the same price as ROG Ally, $700, and there's a lot more to it from a hardware perspective. But Oliver, you're all in on this because you bought a ROG Ally.
Yeah.
What's your take on this? I mean, I guess from my perspective, the worry is that every year, 18 months, AMD is going to produce a new APU. And then, it's just like an arms race that's never going to end.
Well, I see. I don't know about that. Because in terms of the AMD APUs and their advancement, they went from 7 nanometers in the Steam Deck to I think 4 nanometers in the ROG Ally, and the 4 nanometer process is it's a spin on 5 nanometers basically from TSMC. And the difference at the same wattage was actually not that extraordinary. So I'm not sure if that reflects declining advancements in lithography, which we're certainly seeing, or something that's specific to AMD's products, or something that's specific to the differences in the implementation between the Ally and the Steam Deck. But I don't think we're going to see that massive of advancements in this area at these wattages. I think we're basically in a certain band of performance, and I think Valve probably recognizes that by choosing not to ship a Steam Deck 2 very quickly. I think they recognize that they're going to be power limited with whatever they ship if they wanted to reach a higher performance level than the Steam Deck. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Ally. I love that the layout is super comfortable, like with the analog sticks and more of a regular region relative to the Steam Deck, and they're kind of normally spaced and sized. I love the VR screen with 120 hertz support. It opens up so many things in games that you couldn't achieve on the Steam Deck. And I love the level of hardware power you can squeeze out of it when you push it to 25 or 30 watts. I love all those things. The Legion looks like a cool device. It is very big.
It is.
The screen resolution's very high. It's 1600p, I believe.
Yeah.
And so those things I'm not as big of a fan of, but I'd definitely be interested to see how it works in the real world.
Yeah, it looks really interesting when I saw it. Unfortunately, the controllers weren't working, so we couldn't actually play games. I could just sort of get a heft of the device, and it's chunky, that's for sure. I mean, I really like the level of innovation that's happening in the handheld space. There's so much choice, especially with all these Chinese vendors joining in with really high quality devices. I guess the one thing, wholesale, to bear in mind is that I've yet to come across a Windows handheld that's got good battery life. What are you doing there, Oliver? Are you playing plugged in, or just have like shorter gaming sessions?
Well, I have like various batteries and stuff
okay,
like this
right.
that can, so at 30 watts, it lasts for about 50 minutes or so with max screen brightness. So not long. But I would contend that if you're playing like a AAA game, like I was playing Starfield on it the other night, and you're getting 1080p with FSR2 performance at medium settings, 30 FPS, like a way better experience than the Steam Deck, which could only really push like 20 FPS.
Yeah.
FSR2 performance at 800p or 720p. It's like a quote unquote console level experience. Like it's sort of similar to console settings, but in a miniaturized form factor at lower resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. I mean, I think it's fantastic. And yeah, you do have to push it to 30 watts to get that. But, do you really want to be playing AAA games with anything less than the best possible performance on a power limited device like that?
Right.
I don't know. I think you might want to just plug it into the wall a little bit more often, or have some extra battery packs lying around. Because realistically, to me, the difference, like the difference between an hour and a half and 50 minutes, it's not. You need a battery no matter what, pretty much in these things.
Fair enough. Yeah, it might be worth looking into a good battery solution then. which is something we've not really considered. But yeah, I mean, there's so many great handhelds coming. One X Player have one coming as well. The Ayaneo Kun is coming as well with a massive 70 watt hour battery in it. You'd hope that there would be some attempt, at that point to actually get decent battery life within the contained unit. But yeah, I mean, ROG Ally, I mean, it is a good machine. What can I say? And that screen really is interesting for overcoming one of the key limitations, which is it's really difficult to get consistent frame rates above 30 FPS in a lot of games, especially AAA titles.
Right.
ROG Ally has a lot going for it.